Alright, we're on, everybody. Lauren here again at Catskill Animal Sanctuary. It is a beautiful, rainy, little chilly, little windy Tuesday. So here we are. That's why I'm underneath something here. And if you hear any weird noises, so camera person today, Kaden, is holding an umbrella up over the tripod and the microphone and everything there. So if you hear any weird noises, it's just the sound of rain hitting the umbrella like it is right now. But yes, welcome. Thank you if you are joining us again for the first, second, third, however many of these we've done. Welcome back. If this is your first time joining us for a live stream, we are so glad that you found us. So a little bit about the sanctuary. We are Catskill Animal Sanctuary, located in Saugerties, New York, about 2 hours north of New York City. And we have about 150 acres here and about 300 rescued animals who live with us. We've been around now for almost 20 years, and we've rescued over 5,000 animals since we got started back in 2001. So as we're gonna hang out with some of our pig friends today, though they are sleeping, a lot of them right now, which not a bad idea. Nice and cozy in here. But if you have questions, things you want to share about the animals, if you want to tell us where you're watching from, and we'll see who's from really far away, I don't know, feel free as always, drop your thoughts, questions in the comments. So we are here in the mud, which is great. That's how the pigs like to be. So we are in a pig field, and you can always tell when you're in a pig field because it's very all the soil is very turned over. Kaden, do you want to pan out and see all the mud? Let's check this out. So much mud. Look at that. Yep. Lose a boot in there somewhere, huh? Gotta be careful. So pigs are very good landscapers. So everything that is out there, all the puddles and stuff, is all stuff that they dig out themselves. So when it's not sleep time for the pigs, they are out there digging around, rooting around. That's what they do to dig, and they are looking for things to eat. They are looking for interesting smells. They are just looking to find something to mess around with. But not right now. Right now is sleep time, though I hear someone. Oh, someone's coming. Let me move for a second. Is somebody coming? Oh, hello. Somebody's awake. Let me back up a little bit because it looks like Audrey is coming out. Oh, yeah, there she is. Or not? You not coming out? We just gonna see your nose? Hey. Hey, lovely. Come here. Come on out. Hello. Oh, look at that nose, huh? Hello. Hello. You want to come out? I'll give you some space. I think she might want to stay in. I don't blame her. Pigs are not huge fans of the cold, so if it's a little chilly out, then they're like, no, I'm good. No, thank you. Can we see a little more than just your nose? What if I pull this over? Hi. Oh, hello. 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 Good girl. Hello. Yes, here you are. Oh, yay, kisses. Yay, gross. So, this is Audrey. This one who's just peeking out the doorway here. Also inside. Oh, there she goes. Okay. Maybe she'll peek back out in a little bit. Also in there is Mario. So they are best friends. And then if you could see in the back over here, where I was sitting a moment ago, Scott and Regina are the two pigs who are in here. Now, what's the deal with this structure, right? So we've got the nice, beautiful painted pig house right here, and then we got this kind of spare room tacked on the outside. Well, this spare room is here because when these two pairs of pigs were meeting for the first time, That can be a little tricky. Like if you have like dogs or cats or other animals at home, and you've tried to. Oh, someone coming again. I just don't want to get surprised and have someone poke me in the back of the head. So let me just turn this way, and you can hopefully see these guys. But yes, so in the integration process between these two pairs of pigs, we added on this little structure here because Mario and Audrey at first were not really letting these two pigs into the main house. So this was a temporary thing, but then we just left up for them to hang out in. So in the wintertime when it's cold, they do go in the main house and they hang out in there. This is just kind of the spare bedroom over here, so they will sometimes hang out if they want a little more space. So that's all that's up with that. How well can we see our two friends in here? You can see Scott's face in the back. Yes. Yeah, so Scott's the one in the back, so you can see his ears. Regina is the one in the front, so that's her butt. And they are actually brother and sister, but they are also best friends, so they like to cuddle up together, and it's just really adorable. Hello! Hello! Audrey's back again! Now, if you caught the live stream a little bit ago with founder Kathy, you saw that the pigs really like to play with the equipment. Okay, bye! So yes, hopefully they will behave themselves. So what's the deal with these pigs? How did these pigs get here? So we'll start off with these two who are out here. Scott and Regina. If you visited us back in 2015, you would have seen these guys when they were tiny little babies, and we have some baby pictures of them individually, and then them and the rest of their brothers and sister. We have one picture of them that looks like it's their album cover or something like that. It's a cool picture. And so they came to us as a group of 11 brothers and sisters, which I don't know if anyone has that many brothers and sisters who's watching, but it is kind of a lot of brothers and sisters. What happened with them? Well, there was a vegetable farm in Virginia, and the people who had that, they said, let's try raising some pigs as well. So they had a pregnant female pig who then gave birth. And when the people who had the farm saw these little tiny little babies, if you've ever seen a piglet, are they not the cutest thing you've ever laid eyes on? And so if people were going to start a pig farm, they would have had to eventually send the pigs away to be killed, right? And when they saw these little babies, they were like, oh no, we can't do that. We can't do that with these little babies. But now they have 11 little problems on their hands. So they called around to different places, and eventually, here we are, all 11 babies. They no longer all live together. So when they were small, they did all live in a group. But as they got bigger, that got a little trickier. Siblings, they don't all get along as nicely as these two do. So they were kind of separated out depending on who gets along with who and which fields could fit certain numbers of pigs. So it's these two as a pair, 3 of them live next door, and then 6 of them live down at the end of the road. So, yep, so they're all here. They're about 5 years old now. They were actually probably born in about April or so, 5 years ago, but we don't know exactly. So, they're doing pretty well. They're good pigs. Scott's a real sweetheart, but sleep time. Pigs sleep a lot. They do. They sleep a lot. Maybe something like 16 hours a day. Sleep a lot. Do we have any questions so far, by the way?
We had one question from Sherry asking if they can go from the spare room to the main house on their own.
They can, yes, so they can go into the main house if they so choose. I don't know why they've chosen to be out here today. Sometimes when Audrey gets a little cranky, she will kick them out again. Audrey is kind of the one who runs this field. So sometimes she's just like in a mood or whatever, and she's like, no, just me and Mario. And then the guys are like, okay, whatever. But don't worry, like they're fine. They, you know, they're not cold out here or anything. They are protected from the wind. They're protected from the rain. No worries. And they're just snoozing. It's so cute. All right. And oh, hi Scott. He's a good boy. And if you've never hung out with a pig before, which I recommend it, they're fun. Very, very clever animals. We are very lucky the pigs don't have hands. If they had like hands and fingers and opposable thumbs, we would all be in so much trouble. Because they are very, very smart creatures. Like, they can do all sorts of puzzles and different tasks, and they know their names, and, like, they're kind of at the level of, like, a human toddler in terms of, like, their brain power and all. And this is always a fun one for some folks in the crowd to hear. Pigs can actually play video games. So nothing fancy. It's not like they have a Animal Crossing and you're gonna find them on an island somewhere there. No. But like basic kind of Pong style things. So they can figure out how to play a video game and then also tell like when they win. And they get excited when they win. So they have a good time with that. So that's always kind of fun. There are videos of that online that you can check out. Our pigs are screen free, but you guys play around in your field, huh? Dig up things out there. We also throw in like treat balls and all kinds of other stuff for them to check out. And we have a question.
Dee would like to know who snores the loudest.
Oh my gosh, who snores the loudest? I don't know. I feel like most of the noise is coming out of Scott right now. Regina's been pretty quiet. But yeah, they will kind of grunt and all in their sleep, and it's really cute. I have seen them when they're sleeping. Like, you know when a dog is asleep and you can tell when they're dreaming because they do like the little foot twitches and they move a little bit and all. I've seen them doing that they'll be laying down on their side asleep and the little legs will be going. So there's definitely a lot going on in there. Even the older pigs I've seen doing that. So that maybe in their waking life, it's hard for them to run around anymore because they're older, but in their dreams they still run around, which is really sweet. Can we get a look at Mario and Audrey, or are they way in the back over there? So we're peeking in their house.
They are in the back, but if you hold open the
Let's take a peek so you can see the master bedroom, as it were. Yeah. How's that? I'll try not to fall in the mud. If I do fall in the mud, you can laugh at me, it's okay. So we see them in there.
Oh, hold on, guys.
Oh, are you good? Oh, are we stuck? There they are. There we go. Snoozing in there. Now Audrey, we can tell because she's got that white spot on her ear. It'll be a little dark in here. We will continue to be able to see okay. Yeah, that's not bad. Alright, let me come around this way. Hi guys. Alright, so our dear Audrey is in the front here with that white tip on her ear. She really does stand out a lot. And then the other guy in the back is Mario. It's actually really nice and warm in here. It's much, right, Caden? It's much warmer in here than it was outside. So it's pretty good in here. Like I said, pigs really don't like to be cold. So we get all this extra straw for them when it's cold. And they just make little beds and they burrow themselves in there and they just sleep. We got some more oh yes, so there's a door behind me that we just opened up a little bit to get a little more light in here. Right guys? Oh my gosh. Hi Mario. Hi big guy. Good morning, afternoon, whatever time of day, because Time doesn't have a lot of meaning anymore. um, so what's the deal with these two? So these guys are about 6 years old now. So they're a year older than Scott and Regina. And Audrey is actually in a movie. She's our little movie star. There's a movie called The Last Pig. And it's about this guy who had a pig farm. His name is Bob Comus. And he had a pig farm for like 10 years or so. And he started it, not because he came from a farming family or anything like that, but because he found out the way that pigs are raised on big industrial farms. Which is to say that they're like just crammed in there. They never get a chance to go outside. They're just like the mothers, the ones who give birth to the piglets, are just crammed in these crates where they can't move around. They can't even turn around. And it's just, if you see it, it's just like, oh my gosh, these poor pigs. So Bob saw this and he's like, all right, I don't want anything to do with that. Let me start my own pig farm. And we'll see how that goes. So his pigs weren't confined like that. They had space to run around and all, but Bob is a pig farmer. So sure, day to day, he's looking out for the pigs and whatever, and they're running around doing pig stuff. But once a week, he's got to load up the trailer. Because no matter how well they might be raised when they're alive, and whatever their conditions are when they're alive, all of them are going to end up on a plate somewhere. And this really started to get to Bob, that he felt like he was doing right by these pigs by treating them differently. But he finally was just like, and he would just say that he has things that he says, like, there's no right way to do a wrong thing. And he actually you can still find some of his writing online, which is really cool. He's a wonderful writer. If you search like Bob Comus Huffington Post, you should hopefully find it. Last time I knew it was still online. But yeah, and after that, so Bob had about 2,000 pigs that he raised in 10 years, which on an industrial scale of pigs is nothing. And it took him, and he was doing it for 10 years. He was able to rehome some of the pigs at the end of the farm. So that's two of these guys right here. Audrey is in the movie at the end. There's like a shot of one pig walking through a field by herself. And you see that little white ear. It's like, oh, that's her. That's Audrey. She's in the movie. I didn't see Mario in it though, but I tried looking for him. But yeah. And for Bob's, what was Bob up to? He actually started a vegetable farm on his land. So it's weird, kind of the opposite of Scott and Regina's story, right? Pig farm to vegetable farm. Vegetable farm, tried to be a pig farm, didn't work out. But yeah, and then he did that a little bit, and then he was like, you know what, I think I'm done with farming, which is great. And I mean, Bob had a lot of like depression and sadness and grief for his years of running the pig farm and sending them away to be killed. So like the farmer he was at, only about an hour or so north of here, not too far away. But he has never come and visited these pigs. Because he says it would just be too much for him. But we hope one day he'll come and visit. Maybe he's watching right now. Wouldn't that be cool? Hi, Bob. But yeah, these guys are doing really well. They're sweet pigs. And hopefully we'll get a good look at the eyes of one of them, because one of the things that Bob would always say too is that when you look into the eyes of a pig, there's always someone in there looking back at you. Like the eyes are not empty. And yeah, you can see that when you look at them. Question?
Yes, we have a few questions.
Beautiful.
Dee wants to know if their feelings get hurt.
Oh, so funny story. So we know our dear sister Mary Frances, right? She's that little gray potbelly who walks around the sanctuary. So she once got like, she was fine. She got kind of stepped on by one of the other pigs. And, again, she was fine. No injuries, no worries. But she was so upset. And I mean, if you've seen Sister, she likes to complain about things. But she was just crying and she ran and she went to her stall and she like burrowed in under all the straw and she was just under the straw just crying because someone stepped on her and just carrying on about this was the like worst offense that could ever befall a pig. Yeah, so she's okay now. She was fine. She just likes to make noise. But yes, she was very deeply bothered by this. So yeah, you do see them in that they remember stuff like that. Yeah, it's funny. More questions?
Sean would like to know, do wild pigs like burrowing into leaves or whatever is around like these guys like the hay?
So wild pigs do root around and they dig and they, the same kind of way that these guys will root around out in their field. I don't know if they dig underneath and use leaves and things like blankets. Kaden, do you know?
Yes. So wild pigs would actually create a nest for their babies in sort of the forage from the forest floor, and actually cover their babies up when they leave the nest for those much-deserved breaks that every mama needs. And they would kind of camouflage their babies in this nice cushy nest. So they absolutely do.
Yeah, mama pigs are really good to their little babies. They make Mario's getting up. They make the nest for them. They actually kind of sing to their babies. Like, they make, like, rhythmic grunting. That, like, as little, like, lullabies for the babies. So that's really adorable. Hi, big guy. What you doing? You bothering your friend? Hi. Oh, behave. Yeah, see, that's why you don't bother someone who's trying to sleep. You're gonna then get bit in the face. No one actually bit anyone there. That was just a little like, hey, leave me alone warning. Sweetie, why don't you go that way?
Oh, yes.
Yes, go that way. That's it. Oh, no, you gotta step on. Don't step on. Here we go. Hi, big guy. Hi, what's up? Where you going?
This way.
This way, that way? Hi.
Apparently this way.
Hello. Hello. Oh, look at those beautiful eyes now. Look at those eyes. Okay, I'll come with you. Hang on. Help you. Good boy. Isn't he a beautiful pig? He's a good boy. Oh, you're wet. You've been outside in the rain. Gross. All wet. Audrey was back to sleep. All right, couple questions, and then I want to get into something specific, because as you may be aware, there is a 50th anniversary of something this week. But yes, question.
We have another Barbary joke for you, which is, why did the sanctuary caretaker name their pig Ink?
Ink. Does it have to do with oink? Ink? I don't know why.
Because she was always running out of the pen.
Which Barbary joke was that?
That is Peter.
Oh, thanks, Dad. Yes. Honorary members of the live stream. Okay, well, Mario's having a drink. I'm gonna kind of close this most of the way. Just so Audrey can get back to sleep. Okay, we'll close it all the way. Yeah. Just so Audrey can get her sleep in. You know how movie stars are, right? We don't want to bother that. But, 1 second. No, pigs have no hands. That's going to hold them in. There we go. So yes, why did we specifically want to talk about pigs today? Well, is there any pig poo nearby? Pigs are big animals, right? And they do make a lot of poo. And so do all of the animals. And I'll pose this, if you have a guess or you know the answer, you might remember from Caden's Everybody Poops tour, a little bit ago how much more, like how many times more waste the farmed animals of the United States produce than the humans. So if you got a thought or a guess, feel free to throw that in the comments. It's a lot of waste, and it's not treated, really. And it's got to go somewhere. So here we do like have a compost pile out the back, and we do have someone who will then come and take some of it away. And so that's how we do our thing. But other places, when they have 2,000, 3,000 pigs, more than that, when they have 50,000, 100,000, 200,000 chickens, that's a lot. So all that does have to go somewhere. So thinking about like pollution, and we have a image that we can put up of what happens in a flood, actually. North Carolina is big pig country, and it's also in the path of hurricanes. So these places where the waste is stored on a, if it's flooding and all, it just floods out. Even if that's not the case, it can get into groundwater. It kind of gets out to the air. It gets into people's water, and it just reeks, to be honest. And the people who live near these sorts of places, because of this waste pollution from the pigs, will have a lot of different health problems, whether it's like depression and anxiety from having this smell around, or like lung problems or asthma or miscarriages and birth defects, all sorts of things, including weakened immune systems, which for a time like right now, when we're here and there's a pandemic going on, and having a weakened immune system makes you much more at risk. And I'll be honest, most of the people who live around places like that don't look like me. They're mostly built around communities of color. So it's more vulnerable people who have this going on. And if we want to kind of turn over here so we can see Mario in the back over here, though it is very muddy. Maybe he'll come back over. Though actually there was a time when I did, I lived in Delaware for a while, and I lived in a community called Oak Orchard, which a big chunk of the land was owned by the local Native American tribe, Lenape, and right close to that was a big chicken slaughterhouse. And everyone knows that you don't live too close to that or you get cancer. And after I lived there, all of a sudden one day, people had bottles of water on their porch because the waste from the chicken slaughterhouse and the farms had gotten into their water. And the farm was like, oh, hey, sorry guys, here's some bottled water. We don't know how long this stuff has been getting into your groundwater. We don't know how long you might have been drinking this waste. But here's some bottled water. It's like, oh, that's not great. Is that, Mario? That's not great. Where you going, big guy? So I mean, with Earth Day, oh, no, hey, no, don't. I know, that's very colorful, isn't it? It's very nice. Does it match your eyes? What do you think? Yeah. Very curious, right? He's like, that's a different thing. I don't know if I've seen one of those before. Let me go check it out. And thankfully he didn't try to chew on it. But again, not having hands, anything a pig wants to try to grab at, they do use their mouth to do it. So now he's back inside. So I'll put this back down. Okay, I think we're running a little short on time. It passes so quickly, my friends. Do we want to swing back around? Whoop. Do we want to swing back around this way? We can get Scott and Regina in the background again here as we kind of finish up.
And we did get one guess from Lisa.
Oh, yes, what do we got?
That farmed animals produce 4 times as much waste as humans.
Well, you got to do a little more than that. In fact, almost 10 times more than that. It's about 50 times as much waste from farmed animals in the U.S. than the humans. So that's a lot. So that is a lot of waterways that are polluted, air that's polluted. Yeah, but you know, if there is one thing that I know about things like, say, lentils or mushrooms or grains, is they don't poop, right? So if we choose to eat more plant-based products rather than pigs and other animals, then we can help reduce those sorts of health problems. And as one more little trivia question, and then we'll close off for today, thinking about water use. So, a lot of different things use more water than you think. Like, for example, if we want to compare the amount of water that goes into creating a hamburger versus the amount of water that is used for like one shower, if you were to compare those numbers, what it comes out to is you could take around 38.4 showers, and that uses the same amount of water as one hamburger. So that's a lot. Don't not shower. Okay. I know we're in quarantine right now. Personal grooming habits may be affected, but just that's a lot of water to think about every hamburger, because you gotta give water to the cows, you gotta water the plants the cows are gonna eat, all sorts of other things. So something to keep in mind. And along those lines, Chef Linda, if you don't follow Compassionate Cuisine on Instagram yet, like, what are you doing? Yeah. But it's at Add Love Stir. Chef Linda will be on there tomorrow, 4 o'clock, doing a very special sort of burger, a veggie burger. I think there's mushrooms and all sorts of other good things in there. So check that out on the Instagram Live over there. Also tomorrow for Earth Day, yay, Earth Day, we will be back here at the Sanctuary, so we're having a special Earth Day edition of Virtual Sanctuary, 1 o'clock, just like always. So we will see you here for that, which we cannot wait. Hopefully it'll be a little sunnier then, but at least the rain stopped, so that's nice. But yeah, that's what we got coming up. As always, if you have the means and you'd like to support the Sanctuary, you can use our text to donate feature. If you text the letters CAS to 91999, you can help support us financially, which is super awesome. We love when people are able to do that. If you are unable to do that, like, no worries, obviously. Feel free to share these videos with your friends and families. We would love to welcome more friends into the live streams here. And if you have like questions about the program, if you want to sign up for programs, check out our website. Send me an email, lauren@cas.org. Anything, other questions? Anything else anyone wanted to share before we close off for the day? No? Alright. Well, I hope wherever you are, everybody, you're doing okay. Maybe take a note from the pigs. Relax. Hang out with a friend, whether it's through some sort of virtual connection or whether you have people in your homes. Be good to each other. Take care of yourself. Alright, stay healthy, stay safe. We miss you. We love you. And we'll see you tomorrow. Yay! Alright, bye everybody!